few days before we have enough to boil. We have about 235 gallons right now collected. There's about 50 in the bags, but it's all frozen. Got down to single digits last night. We're expecting a warm up and should finish collecting here in the next 3 to 4 days.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow.
It's been about 3 or 4 days since I checked in with that last little clip in the beginning. Now I'm getting set up to do that final boil. And gosh, it's nice out right now. 10 gallons of water has just been pushed through. Just coming to the end there. Pretty soon I'll drop the intake in the purified water. Actually, I hear it making noise right now. So let's do that. And that will conclude the flush. The permeate, or the purified water, is going to go flush through that. Oh, you hear it switch over. Fire is ready to light, and pretty soon I can start filling the pan. And it's still light out. It's after dark now, and the warm weather is gone. The temperature's been dropping fast, and the wind has started. Actually, quite a bit of wind. Other than that, I've been thinking about what to do with this video, what to talk about, or what interesting things I could share that I haven't already shared. And I think I'm going to end up doing a question and answer. I have some previous videos. I've had some interesting emails and stuff with other people. And I think I might go through there, find some questions, answer those, and see if I can hit on some topics that I might have covered before, but might be worth revisiting and possibly clarifying. But other than that, I think this is going to be me signing off tonight. It is time to get some food, start a fire in the cabin, and start to get settled down. I'm going to let this go for a few more hours tonight before I shut down. But yeah, see you in the morning. Everything's blowing around. And the problem I'm having is with the RO. As soon as I got outside, these lines froze up immediately. Look at that. Now I'm making a mess, but at least it's thawing out. I think what I'm gonna have to do is get this thing nice and hot by the fire, run outside and try to turn it on. I don't know if it'll work. I think if I can get it running, the moving water will keep it going. But that dang wind chill, it just freezes stuff instantly. Oh, that hurts, it's so cold. I'm gonna try to get everything in this bucket of warm water to start with. Sorry, this is a disaster. Heat up all my lines, carry out this warm bucket, turn on the RO, and see if I can get things flowing before it freezes. Anyway, sorry there's gonna be like no video for this. It's too cold, and I'm in a hurry. Yeah, we're flowing! All right, it's working. All right, now to hurry up and get it going. Come on. Oh, freaking cold. Ow, ow, ow. Oh shit, I need both hands. Okay, I'm successful. Taking sap straight to the tank, to the RO. We're skipping the heater lines this morning. I think the wind chill is just too much to overcome, and those lines are gonna act like cooling coils. It's the opposite of what I want. We are going. All right, now I can turn the fire back on. I didn't want to make candy because nothing was going. But you can see we're all iced up here too, like a lot of ice. Okay, my hand hurts. Ow, 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 ow. All right, it's up to 9. It is brutal outside. At least the sun is out. That's not really cutting it today. There is a 20 mile per hour sustained wind right now. The gusts, I think, are up to 35 miles per hour. The treetops, looking out the window right now, they're moving 5 to 6 feet one way and then 5 to 6 feet the other way. They're moving like 10 to 12 feet, swaying back and forth. It's 9 degrees Fahrenheit, which if you use centigrade, it's negative a crap ton. The water lines in the RO, the small lines, the 1/4 inch lines, the output, they will freeze in like 20 seconds. If there's liquid in it and it's not moving, it freezes in like 20 seconds. It's nuts. To get it started, I brought a bucket of hot water outside, like hot water, 100 and whatever, almost to the point where it hurts to touch it. I put all the lines in the bucket that I could, like coiled them up and crammed them in there, and then started the RO. Once water started circulated, I took everything out of that bucket and put it all where it needed to be, and that kept going. And then at one point, I decided to put the preheater on because I started without it because it was too complicated. And it took me 10 seconds to do a switchover, and I was really nervous it wasn't going to start. But luckily, it got going. So now I'm running the preheater. Yeah, this is terrible. This is by far the worst conditions I could ever want to boil in. Anyway, speaking of that, let's go outside and check it out. I'll show you what it's like. Hopefully there's not too much wind noise and this video just turns into like all voiceover. But anyway, yeah, let's go take a look. One thing I'm also nervous about today, actually quite a bit, I'm trying to make this batch without using any kind of dairy product. I've used butter before as a defoamer. I'd like to make one batch this year with nothing. Then if we do sell it or give it away, we don't have to worry about allergens. And we do have somebody in the family who is like severely allergic to some stuff. I don't want to mess with that. Yeah, but that's such a great defoamer, and I don't have any commercial stuff that's allergy free. And being that I have to run back and forth a whole bunch because it's so devilishly cold outside, there's a good chance this thing might foam over at some point just because I'm not watching it perfectly. Anyway, here we go. this is what we got going on. The garage door is kind of cocked down because it's again, just a little bit of shelter. The RO is going good. Something you'll notice is that, oh my gosh, there's zero pressure. That's because this line right here is froze. Now, with this fitting freezing, that's okay. There is place for the water to expand into. And also, yeah, so it's expanding into here, which is then has a flow. So that's fine. The oil should not freeze solid. So this is okay, it's just not functioning. All these lines have liquid moving through them. They should continue to function even though it's 9 degrees. If I shut it off though, or if the power goes out and I'm not out here, that could be it for everything pretty quick. I'm working on the tank right now. The sap, I was checking temperature. You just have to trust me, it's hard to read that. It's at 34 degrees. I'm trying to pull a little bit of heat into everything by running the preheater. I'm not sure if that's really working. And yeah. Oh, jeez, ow. Anyway, yeah. That's what we got going on. Oh, ow. Hands hurt. Oh. Oh. I was gonna do some question and answer stuff outside and kind of like walk around and be like, this right here and this right here, but it's so cold. I think I'll talk about it inside where it's warm, and I'll put a few pictures here and there if I talk about something. I think that sounds good. All right, I got a few questions I found last night. I'm gonna go over them. One is, how much do I boil within the pan, like the depth? I've boiled with 5 inches, that was the last batch, and I've also boiled with around 2.5 to 3 inches. And that's kind of interesting. I find it's harder to foam and boil over when the pan is deeper, but it does appear that the boil goes a little bit slower. Now, neither one of those is really important enough or big enough difference to say it's better than the other. This go around, I'm going to boil shallower. I want to see if boiling shallower allows me to go with a less vigorous boil and produce a lighter syrup. Now, I know there's a lot of factors that can go into the color of the syrup, but I think we're early enough I can compare a deep pan batch to a shallow pan, and that's what I'm trying to find out this year. And again, of course, it could vary year to year, so it might work this year and it might not work another year. There's so many variables, but that's kind of what makes it fun, figuring it out. Does preheating the sap actually work? Kind of. Right now the sap is 34 and I can get 2 degrees into it. That's it. It's so cold, the lines are chilled. It's just not working very well. If it came down to preheating the sap, like building an apparatus to do that, or adding another membrane to the system, I would add another membrane. Frankly, for the level of work and the money, going from 3 membranes, which we started with, to 5 is a little bit more expensive, but way faster, and it makes a way more difference than trying to preheat the sap. So that's where I would put my money, into more membranes and skip the preheater. It's just more complicated. I have one, so I'm going to keep using it, but if it breaks, I'm not going to fix it. Anything I would change about the RO? So that's a good question. I'm really happy with how it works. There's not much I would change. It's got the wheels, that makes it really easy to move because the more membranes, the more liquid, the heavier it gets. I like the handle. Onboard storage is super convenient. I think the only thing I would change is it'd be nice if I could do something a little kind of more fancy with the parts per million, the little TDS meter. Maybe if I could mount that inboard somewhere, that'd be handy instead of having it sticking off the edge. But I like it sticking off the edge because it's easy to take off and clean. So I don't know. Temperature, that would be cool. If I could put a little inline thermometer on one of the lines, that would be really cool to know. I would definitely do that. I might look into that for next year. The blower. So having a powered blower for your wood burner is huge. It makes such a big difference. And the one I built has variable speed, which is really great because we finish on the pan. Because of that style, it's nice to be able to meter the airflow very precisely and control your boil. A vigorous boil when you're trying to finish on the pan is just going to make foam and make a huge mess. Being able to control the airflow like exactly what you want means that we can finish on the pan and it actually works reliably. But yeah, that blower is awesome. It's probably one of the unsung heroes of this setup. Now that blower could be run on batteries. All it is an inline blower. The rubber is from any plumbing department at a hardware store has all these adapters. That's where you can get that rubber adapter. And then it's just exhaust pipe. That's the main blower assembly. Now to control the blower, there's something called a motor speed controller. You can find them online. I think they're like $20 or less. And that will allow you to control the speed of a DC motor. Alternating current motors, you can't control the speed unless they're designed for that. But any direct current motor, you can make variable speed. Anyone. Now, because of the variable speed button, that controls the voltage. So if you look online and you see the power wheels, like there's all these adapters advertised for power wheels to adapt them to run off of dad's power tool batteries like Milwaukee, Makita, DeWalt, Ryobi, whatever you got. Buy one of those adapters for whatever battery you use. You wire that adapter into the motor speed controller and then that into the blower, and now you have a portable blower that can go anywhere. And I did the math at one point because I thought about doing that, and I think a 5 amp hour battery can run anywhere from 2 to 4 hours depending on how you're running the blower. So 4 to 5 batteries you could run all day. And if you need to charge one, just chuck it back on the charger for half an hour and you're good to go. And I think that's actually more affordable than trying to buy a transformer and wiring it up the way I did. So if you're going to make a blower, I'd probably go battery powered now. Well, maybe not. I don't know. We got power at the cabin and solar. But anyway, the battery option is really cool. Otherwise, you just need a 12-volt transformer to go into the speed controller, and that allows you to vary the speed anyway. But yeah, that's a neat little thing. Not that expensive to build. Maybe $50. And that can almost double your boil speed depending on your setup. Next up, I got refractometers and hydrometers. When to use them? I think the refractometer is kind of a nice double check when you're getting close to finishing. I also think it works best for sap. So if you're measuring your sap or your concentrate, using a refractometer is just faster and easier in my mind. I really like that. But when it comes to finishing, I use a hydrometer to finish because I trust that more. And I believe, or at least in my experience, it seems to be a little more precise or easier to get a precise reading on that one. Age-old question, do you throw the ice out or do you keep it when it freezes in the bags? Generally, we keep the ice. Now, if it came down to it and I was running out of time and I used up all the liquid, I'd probably chuck the ice. But with the RO, I don't think there's any point in throwing out the ice. There's still sugar in it. It might not be as high as the liquid, but it's close enough. And with an RO, you can pull the water out anyway. So why would you waste all that sap you took time to collect? But yeah, I definitely keep the ice. The ideal size for wood for the wood burner. Well, the smaller the stick, the faster it's going to burn. Generally, we cut about 16-inch long lengths. Our firebox, I think, is 18 or 20 inches long. And for size, try to keep the size of the stick kind of around your fist. So for splitting it, getting it about like that would be ideal. We have some bigger chunks, which is okay occasionally, but I wouldn't want a whole load like that. The split wood definitely dries more thoroughly, and I think that in my experience, the drier the wood, the easier it is to control the burn. If it's split, dried for 2 summers, I think that's perfect. As long as it's this size and it's a mix of round and split and it was dried for 1 summer, that's fine. We use both. No issues. So I take what I can get. It's more important that it's hardwood. So if it's ash and maple, those burn really well. I would stay away from pine and popple. If they're dry, they might burn fast, but they don't burn very long. And just not, I don't know. If you have forced air, like a blower, go with hardwood. If you don't have a blower, then you can kind of figure out whatever you got to do, you got to do. All right, do I have a parts list for my RO? Yes, I do. I will link to that in the description. I have a PDF with all the parts that I used. My spreadsheet. So yeah, there's a spreadsheet on here that I use a lot. And see if I can zoom in here. Yeah, I'll put a screen capture here and kind of just give you an overview of what I collect. I have a summary that the data aggregates into, so I can kind of see at a glance how each batch went. That's the top one. And then down below, I have a chart that I collect all of my measurements. In the blue, those are columns that I record data, and then the rest of them, more or less, are calculated out using formulas. And then that allows me to come up with that summary. So I will get a copy of this spreadsheet. I'll put the data from this boil, and then on sheet 2 I'll have a blank, and I'll put that in the description. I'll try to format it for Excel. Even though I use Apple numbers, it should work just fine. But I recently redid the spreadsheet and it works really well now. So I'm a huge fan of collecting data. It allows me to see what I do differently each year. And there's some other sheets that I use as well. For instance, I have RO flow for the 500 ml beakers. I have my little bricks chart, a bunch of little at the glance things here. But that data sheet's the most important. I'll post a link to that.
The intake froze from the big... It's frozen over here.
What?
Can you bring that in the cabin and thaw it out?
Warm water will thaw really quick.
Can we go bring it into the sink? Good, now it'll be sticky and frozen. No. Put it under your shirt for a little bit. Get a buck. Oh, okay. There you go. Those are pretty. Yeah. Oh, there, you got another place for the water to go.
I know, I got this one.
Is that sap or water?
Water.
Oh, okay.
All the sap is left in here. There's
Oh,
only
okay.
like 15 gallons left. That's why I was like, I'm near the end. I'm gonna take one last measurement to see how it's going. And I got halfway through. All I had to do was one more measurement. So if I had another 2 minutes, I would have my measurement. But at this point, now it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna run it out.
It's like 6 degrees out.
Yeah. So now I just need to match.
After a high of like 64 here yesterday. Oh my gosh.
That trickle is about the right pace right now to finish.
Okay.
This is, yeah, we're good.
Okay. I believe you.
Good times.
It's more exciting when it's not to
What?
plan, right?
No.
It's a fun adventure then.
Yeah, but like not at the end. It's so close. Well, I guess it would have been worse in the beginning because
It's not like it's 11 at night. It's only 9:20.
I guess if this kept happening or getting boogered up in the middle of the day, I'd be way behind.
Yep.
So I guess I had a heck of a hard time starting, so it makes sense now that it's getting cold again.
Mhm. There you go. Brr, my hand's
What's the
frozen.
temperature right now?
I don't know. I'll go check it.
Single digits yet?
It was in the single digits when we got here.
Oh, no wonder.
That was 8 degrees when
Makes
we got
sense.
here, and now it's got to be colder because that was like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I had a lot of trouble when it was that cold. Once it hit 10 degrees, you know, it got better.
Yeah. Tomorrow's supposed to be, I don't think it's supposed to quite get above freezing, but warmer.
Well, that was a mess. Actually, it wasn't too bad. I didn't get to finish. There's still 10, 15 gallons left in the tank that I can't RO. I found the magic number though. If your RO is like mine, 400 per day membranes, and you're running about 17 gallons per hour flow, when it hits 6 degrees Fahrenheit, at whatever elevation we're at, the intake line will freeze, no matter what. Actually, it freezes in about 5 minutes. So that's what happened. Ran all day pretty good. Once we hit 5 degrees Fahrenheit, everything froze up. So that is the absolute lower limit now. And now I know. I didn't need to know. It was 60 yesterday. It's 5 right now. I think that's a record. It's got to be a record. For our area. Anyway. Yeah. I just realized that I froze this to the ground. And now I can't get it unstuck. So, that's because when I was messing with the RO, trying to get the lines unfrozen, the water had to go somewhere. So now I'm going to try to heat it up, set it on fire. We'll see. Oh man. All right. Hand hammer. Oh, it worked. Okay. There we go. I dumped 4 gallons in the preheater pan, and this is all that's left. So I think if you add that up, it comes to, let's see, 3, 4, 5, right on 12 gallons. I was 12 gallons away from finishing running the RO with everything for the season. So close. Good morning. I was gonna fly the drone this morning because it's super pretty. There's a really nice sunrise, but it's -1 Fahrenheit outside, which is really cold. And I'm a little nervous about finishing when it's this cold outside. So we're gonna take our time this morning, eat breakfast, maybe eat a second breakfast, and then get going.
There are hobbits.
Hi.
Did you get the fire started? I don't think I've ever seen this.
Lighter fluid. I don't know what you're talking about.
Gee, how'd you get that fire going so
was out
hot
here.
so fast?
That's ice melter.
Huh.
I know. That's weird.
A little frozen in place.
By the way, there was something in the wood in the trailer. There's a kangaroo mouse underneath the wood burner right now.
At home?
Right here.
Oh,
So it doesn't get super hot under there, so he's probably just going to be pretty happy for a while until it gets cold again.
a happy little mouse.
Yeah. Yeah, he went right under this crack right here.
Huh.
So there's a mouse under there right now. Just hanging out.
Is that a new one?
Yeah, see, no bubbles. Looks good.
Uh-huh.
But this one is measuring 40.5. So we lost 3/4 of an inch in the pan overnight. That means we went from 19.5 to 15.9 gallons.
Okay.
The bricks was 40.5 and the 15.9 gallons remaining. So, by my calculations, there is 9.7 gallons of syrup that we should end up with.
That's what I said, about 9.5.
And that's if the refractometer reading is correct and if the pan is level. And the pan isn't perfectly level, but I think it's close enough. And I measured at the side. There's a little bit of a bow in the middle. It's not perfectly level, so 9.6 is definitely an estimate. We could go up or down. I don't know.
Usually we go down.
Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Ugh. Ugh.
There he goes. To fetch more wood for the fire.
I'll be right back.
Yep. Have fun. Good luck.
Well, we lost some. Hit the foam stage. And before we could slow the fire, we lost, I don't know, hopefully less than a quart.
Another almost full pint for your dad.
Oh, the dark stuff.
Extra dark.
Extra niter. Drawing off went as expected. We were able to pour it off and get the pan tilted, and all that went pretty good. So
We're trying to de-hypothermia aid. We made syrup. It's warmer out now than it was before.
not much.
Maybe I just had time to warm up myself.
Anyway, there you go. 8.5 gallons, second and final boil. And
No more.
yeah, no more
Next
this year.
year. And it's not even March.
I know. Goodbye, February. Think warm thoughts. Think warm thoughts. Warm thoughts. Beer cheese soup. Cheese. Nacho cheese. Beer. Beer.